So this is, I guess I should wait till people join, huh? So I'm just gonna do a short video on this, the King Alfred Plan. Notice the date is 1969. So again, any of the more saying, oh, by you publicly displaying that you bear arms, you're making us a target. I was born 1992. This is from 1969, so this is obviously before I was born, right? You can get this from rvbaypublications.com, or you can just Google it and get it for free, right? But you probably won't find it in this form if you Google it, right? This is basically their plan to to oppress our people, right? So this is known as the silent weapon for quiet wars, or silent weapon for silent wars. So I'm gonna read this to you. Even before 1954, when the Supreme Court of the United States of America declared unconstitutional separate educational and recreational facilities, racial unrest and discord had become very nearly a part of the American way of life. But that way of life was repugnant to most Americans. Since 1954, however, that unrest and discord have broken out into widespread violence, which increasingly have placed the peace and stability of the nation in dire jeopardy. And if you peep the date of 1954, that's when the FBI admits that they started COINTELPRO, although congressional record proves that they were involved in infiltrating domestic civic organizations since their inception in 1908, if I'm not mistaken, either 1908 or 1913. But you can just Google when the FBI was created, and you'll see that, the FBI, COINTELPRO, and the Black Messiah Act aligns up with the King Alfred Plan. All right. The violence has resulted in loss of life, limb, and property, and has cost the taxpayers of this nation billions of dollars. So you'll see all these cop cars being burned down. Since you pay taxes, that's costing you money. Well, it's not really money, it's fiat. And then cross-reference, this was House Resolution 25, Fair Tax Act of 2019, 2005, 2008, and 2009. And the end is not yet in sight. This same violence has raised the tremendously grave question as to whether the races can ever live in peace with each other. Of course we can. It's called a treaty of peace and friendship. All you have to do is abide by that, and we can. But since you want to be so-called elitist and a so-called oligarchy, you don't want to honor the peace and friendship agreement with the Moors. You want to have, world domination, which you can't. It's impossible, right? Each passing month has brought new intelligence that despite new laws passed to alleviate the condition of the minority still is not satisfied, because first of all, we're not minorities. Second of all, we're supposed to have our own government, and you can't pass legislation in your system for our benefit because it's not our system, right? Demonstrations and rioting have become part of the familiar scene. Troops have been called out in city after city across the land, which last night, those helicopters that were flying over my house were National Guard, because there were people doing dumb shit, right? City after city across the land, and our image as a world leader severely damaged. Our enemies press closer, seeking the advantage, possibly at a time during one of these outbreaks of violence, which when you study Chief Malik, also known as Jeff Fort, and the Peace Stones, also known as Al-Rakans, aka Moorish Americans, you see where they were being funded by Libya to help Moors in their plight against European colonial oppression and genocide. So we will have allies once we prove to the rest of the world that we're actually that we actually have some type of backbone, right? Then it continues to say that the minority has adopted an almost military posture to gain its objectives, which are not clear to most Americans because we have no type of organization, order, or anything like that whatsoever. It's just we're gonna burn down the Wendy's. It is expected, therefore, that when those objectives are denied the minority, racial war must be considered inevitable. When that emergency comes, we must expect the total involvement of all 22 million members of the minority, men, women, and children. For once this project is launched, its goal is to terminate once and for all the minority threat to the whole of the American society and indeed the free world. So they're talking about exterminating minorities. All right. Then check it out. There are 12 major minority organizations, and all are familiar to the 22 million. Dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and can be studied in Washington. The material contained in many of these dossiers and our threat to reveal that material has considerably held in check the activities of the leaders. Leaders who do not have such usable material in their dossiers have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors and primarily in African countries. So they're telling you they got nigger sellouts as puppets. That's why, as an example, when we went to protest DCYF stealing and abducting 25 children a month from Aboriginal and Indigenous families, once these leaders, these so-called leaders of Black Lives Matters and other organizations out here, once they found out we was on an FBI investigation because we actually produced remedy for our people, they didn't show up to the meeting. They stopped. And they literally said that they were scared. They didn't want to get involved with us because the FBI was investigating us, even though we've never committed any crimes. But they know that if they publicly show their faces with people like us that's actually about the movement, they're going to get exposed. So they rather do dumb shit like organize our people on the highway instead of saying, hey, let's sue these people. Because they're nigger leaders. And I know, I apologize to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. He told us not to call them niggers. But I'm sorry, Prophet. I know if you're watching from the spirit realm and you see these people, you know they're acting niggardly. Matter of fact, I seen a video of a local so-called Black Lives Matter leader out here, dressed the part. Meanwhile, he's one of the cowards that said, I'm not going to that meeting with Rise of the Moors because the FBI is involved. How you claiming to be a leader of our community and you scared? Plus, we haven't committed any crimes. So what that they're investigating us? We haven't committed any crimes. So again, why are you scared? And this protest was for children. So why are you scared? That's because they have dossiers compiled on them of them doing shit that they ain't supposed to be doing. Selling out. Homosexual activity. Touching children. That's what these people do. Why do you think all these so-called black leaders go to Masonic lodges? And if you're in the so-called Rhode Island area, go to Eddy Street on the south side of Prague where our people are at. Go to the Prince Hall Masonic Lodge and ask these people, how come you go into this Masonic Lodge? How come you take orders from the Mother Lodge, which is ran by Europeans, but you claim to be for us? Ask them these questions. Right? So the promise of these positions have also materially contributed to a temporary slowdown of minority activities. Why? Because they're not going to give you any guidance for your liberation. They're house niggers, or as the Prophet commanded us to call them, they're dirty Moors. That's what they are. They know they're Moors and they're dirty. Excuse me, filthy. However, we do not expect these slowdowns to be of long-range duration because there are always new and dissident elements joining these organizations with the potential power to replace the old leaders. And then your Prophet tell you that? There's going to be Moors coming in with their eyes wide open that's going to put you old heads in the back because you ain't doing shit, because you're a sellout. That's Allah sending down the angels. Allah keeps sending us saviors and we keep letting them die. Or we keep letting them get thrown in jail. Look at Chief Malik. Look at Jeff Fort. You know how many Moors I see say they love Jet Ford, they love him, they love him, they love Jet Ford. Oh yeah, I'm a peace stone, I'm a stone, I'm a stone, I'm a stone, I'm a real stone. I'm in alignment with Chief Malik. How come you ain't help? How come you ain't get him out yet? Because if what the Europeans were saying about him was right, he was uniting gangs, putting him onto more science. And if what the Europeans say about him was right, he was getting arms, had them in his possession. So how come you didn't do what the Mexican cartel did for El Chapo? When the ops took his son, what'd they do? I'm not gonna say what they did. I'm gonna let you look it up. Look up what they did. And that's a so-called cartel, which, you know, they already put a negative. When I say they, you know, I'm talking about the powers that be, the so-called Europeans. They always make our people seem evil when they're doing shit that nationals are supposed to do. So you love Chief Malik? All right, prove it. You love whatever leader you claim is your leader, and oh my God, we love him so much or her so much. All right, prove that shit. Prove it. Why? Why am I saying that? Because these Europeans love their president so much. Guess who they have guarding him 24/7? Not just the Marines, Secret Service. 24/7. Why? Because they love their leaders. Their leaders are important to them. They don't just go on social media and say, hey, yeah, we really love Donald Trump. And then they just let him walk out assed out. Nah, they got 24/7 detail on him and his family. Why? To make sure no one takes him out. How come the Moors weren't doing that for people like Chief Malik? Why? Anyway, all organizations and their leaders are under constant 24-hour surveillance. These organizations are... I'm not going to read the organizations because there's an updated list, obviously. If you go to the FBIvault.gov and look up Black Identity Extremist, you'll see Moors are on that list. Although we keep saying we ain't black, and we literally have a peace treaty with these people, and we haven't done anything to violate that treaty. Meanwhile, they have done everything to violate that treaty. But they're, you know, this is an information war. The United States always uses hearts and minds. So they're going to slander our people to make us look like terrorists. Meanwhile, they're the number one terrorist. They're public enemy number one. Now check this out right here. At the appropriate time being designated by the president, the leaders of some of these organizations are to be detained only when it is clear that they cannot prevent the emergency, working with local public officials during the first critical hours. All other leaders are to be detained at once. Compiled list of minority leaders have been readied at the National Data Computer Center. So they've been planning this, bro. If you think that the state police coming to my house, throwing me in jail, and putting $20,000 bonds on me, getting my retina scan, my everything about me, if you think that's fucking coincidence, just get out the movement now. Don't even claim to be a Moor if you think that's just coincidence. If you can't obviously see that me and my family and the Moors I'm around are targets, and you don't have a problem with that, just turn in your carding button, cease wearing your turban to Fez, and return to the state where the Prophet found you. Because let me find out. Yo, matter of fact, I'm not sure if any of you have me on Instagram, but on Instagram, Juju brought me an ant colony. And anytime I got close to the ant colony, and you know, sorry, my bird just landed on my phone. And it appeared, that's my bird's tail. Get off the phone. I'm sorry, hold on. And it appeared that I was getting close to their queen. Guess what all the ants did? All of them. They tried to fight me. I didn't even touch the queen. It just looked like I was getting too close. How come Moors ain't operating like that? We are literally the only people not doing that. Literally. Like, for real. Cartels doing it. Literally, cartel protect their people, literally. That's what they do. That's why no one messes with them. We're the only, it's sad to say, but we're the only idiots not doing that, not protecting each other. Anyway, it is necessary to use minority leaders designated by the president in much the same manner in which we use minority members who are agents with central CIA and federal FBI, and we cannot, until there's no alternative, reveal King Alfred plan in all its aspects. These marching, praying nigger leaders are agents, all of them. Even my bird's confirming it. Tell him, Sinbad. Tell him. That's right. You ain't gonna tell me all these Negro leaders talking about politics have never read a Black's Law Dictionary. F-O-H, as Cujo will say. F-O-H. If you don't know what that means, it means fuck out of here. You're smoking something if you think they don't know. Because there's so-called Indian chiefs out here that will reference Black's Law Dictionary. Guess what it says in Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition? There's no legal technical signification to the phrase colored person, which the courts are bound judicially to know. So why are they talking about you're a citizen of the U.S. and you're the citizen of the individual states and you're black and you're colored and you're this and you're that? When they have the books. Matter of fact, we already revealed the paperwork that a certain Indian chief had paperwork where he was appointed by the governor. So that there you go, agent right there. There you go. Now peep this right here. There will be many cities where the minority will be able to put into the street a superior number of people. So how you minority? They're not talking about you as in less numbers. They're talking about you as in you think like an infant. You think like a child. You don't even plan your protest. You just show up. They got to plan it for you. They got to bring bricks for you. Literally, they have to bring the bricks. They have to set up the abandoned cop cars for you to burn down. Because you can't do it yourself. So they'll put into the street a superior number of people with a desperate and dangerous will. Peep game. He will be a formidable enemy, for he is bound to the continent, not United States. The continent by heritage, and knows that political asylum will not be available to him in other countries. So you ain't fucking going nowhere. Why? Because this is your homeland, which means what? You was not shipped over here on no ships. This is your homeland, stupid. That's why they call you minorities. The greatest concentration of the minority is in the Deep South and Eastern Seaboard, the Great Lakes region, and the West Coast. Now, what did your prophet tell you? If you got people in the South, get them out. Because that's where destruction is going to start. And guess where destruction is starting? The South. But you don't want to listen to more. I don't understand why you don't want to listen to Moors. I really don't. Shit don't make sense. I'm talking about active, civic-minded, declared Moors who's giving you information like this. You don't want to listen to them. You want to listen to niggers. You want to brag on social media about how much you know everything about what Donald Trump is doing, but you don't want to organize. What the fuck is the point of you declaring that you're a Moor then? All these woke people on Instagram and all these Facebook and YouTube talking about they fully comprehend. Oh, we know what Donald Trump is doing and y'all don't understand. What are you doing? Nothing. You're just acting woke. Let me try to turn this page with this bird in my hand. Nope, he flew away. Now he's coming flying back. Right. It talks about how let me see. Right here, look, check this. This is important right here. We are confident that the minority could only hold any city it took for only a few hours. So my bad. The other day I said a week. They're limiting you to a few hours. Why? Lack of weapons, lack of facilities, lack of logistics. Which means what? You ain't fucking planning nothing. You got no plans. Your plan is let's be niggers one day, and then when someone dies, then we'll protest with no plan. So let's be niggers that day too. And then again, you plan so bad that there's footage of cops emptying their cars and escorting other vehicles to strategically place bricks in front of buildings they want you to destroy. Why? Because you have no fucking logistics. You don't want to listen to people with prior military experience who know what the hell they're talking about. You want to listen to conscious woke idiots that say, well, I read The Art of War, have no practical fucking application, but since they're speaking to you in a friendly voice, you want to listen to them when they got no plan, no experience doing anything. But you want to listen to them. Well, Jamal, we don't like how you're speaking because you said we're dumb on video, and you should try a love approach. And show me one military where they're talking about fucking butterflies and rainbows. Where you see their commanding officer or their staff sergeant or their NCO or their NCO, you know, where they're speaking to you like you're fucking buddies, like you're back on the block. Show me. You don't see it. So again, if you got a problem with how I'm giving this information to you, the fuck out of here. Why? Because these Europeans have been planning to murder us since before I was born. So if you got a problem with me saying, hey, you're being fucking stupid, and not a problem with them planning to murder you, fuck out of here. You're a turncoat. Matter of fact, you an agent. Get away from me. Then look, it says, since we lack logistics, since we lack weapons and facilities, that all puts us at a final disadvantage. So all these, excuse my language, if there's children, I'm sorry, all these fucking idiots saying, oh, that's what they want. They want a race war. Bitch, they know you ain't ready. Stop acting like we're better than what we are right now. Why don't we just admit that we're not fucking ready? How about that, stupid? And again, if you have a problem with me saying you're stupid, how can you not see what's right in front of you right now? Look, we are confident. That means they don't give a fuck if these niggas start rioting and they want to do a race war. These Europeans are confident that the minority could hold any city it took for only a few hours. Yo, they didn't even give you, I gave you a week. I said a week. They're giving you a few hours. Why? The lack of weapons, facilities, logistics, all put the minority at a final disadvantage. Why? Because niggers only want to do shit when it's cool. Oh, every protesting, so, oh yeah, we gotta protest too. Nigger, what are you talking about? How about you organize? How about you strategize? How about you teach your people how to defend themselves? How about you teach your people how to de-escalate situations? How about you teach your people how to tactfully approach a situation like what happened with our brother George, where, you know, there's a fire team of 4 armed, militant, and disciplined men and women approaching that situation saying, hey, what happened here? What crime did he commit? If he didn't commit a crime, get off his neck. If you don't get off his neck in 3 seconds, you will get shot at. But no, you want to fucking protest like a dumbass. But if you planned, if you had a counterterrorism organization, not a fucking Negro marching praying organization, if you planned, then maybe you would have some fucking rights. Because you would be able to enforce those rights. That's why these Europeans don't give a fuck about no race war. Because they know you ain't ready. How they know you ain't ready? Because they got nigger leaders in charge of your organizations that's going to make sure you ain't ready. And then when people, again, I'm going to keep saying the same shit. Because the truth don't fucking change, fade or pass away. The truth is all for you woke niggas, right? Since y'all know how to quote the prophet so fucking much. But you don't want to manifest nothing. They know they got niggers in charge of your organization that ain't going to take you nowhere. They don't care about your so-called race war. Stop being a dumb nigger and nationalize. That's what they don't want. This shit ain't, bro. And don't use ignorance as an excuse. Don't talk about how, oh well, you have a different level of comprehension. Nah, fuck that. I went to the same indoctrination camps you went to. I went to a public high school, public elementary school, public kindergarten, daycare, public. I didn't go to no university. Then I got more brainwashing. Joined the United States Marine Corps. 12-month boot camp. Then combat training. Then MOS school. Then hit the fleet for 4 years. So I got extra brainwashing. And if you look at the ASVAB scores, you don't got to be a genius to join the Marines. So don't try to make some fucking bullshit excuse as, well, Jamal, you're more intelligent. FOH. How many times you see me spell something wrong when I'm doing a class? How many times you hear me pronounce something wrong? How many times you hear me slur on my speech? I'm not fucking perfect. So don't make excuses for me and don't make excuses for you. Being dumb is a choice. Google the definition of dumb. Being stupid is a choice. Look it up. Before I even got onto more science, and all these Europeans every February talking about Black History Month, always talking about how Martin Luther King was a great person. Not once did I be like, oh yeah, you know what? Marching and praying in the street actually got us somewhere. It's just now I fully see how it ain't gonna get us anywhere ever. That's the only difference. And when I thought I was black, I was leaning more towards Malcolm anyway, because he was saying shit like by any means necessary. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But I still wasn't effing with no black organizations, because I already know black people are funny. Then when I found more science, now this shit like this put it into real perspective. Like, okay, now I see the game that's being ran on our people. So there's no fucking excuses. I thought I was black too. Matter of fact, I got tattoos. You see that right there? It says India on it. Want to know why? Because I was India Company, 3rd Battalion. Extra brainwashing, bro. This shit is real. So no excuse. You have no excuse. You have no fucking excuse. No excuse. I don't want to hear nothing. Well, Jamal, if you try a more loving approach, bitch, I do love you. That's why I'm talking to you like this. We're fucking targets. You shouldn't want your fucking hand held when it's wartime. They declare war on us. You see that? Look. Silent weapon. They declare war on us. And you want me to say, hey, Islam, beloved, peace, family. What we really need, beloved, is, we need to come together and nah, bitch, stop fucking playing. Come together before we all die. Period. And if you got a problem with what I'm talking about, if you're scared, go to church. Let these pastors pacify you, pull you into the pit behind their pulpit, and stay nowhere. So that you want to be talked to all fucking friendly. Then you keep paying tithes to them to fix the roof that never got fixed, while they keep showing up in fancy suits, fancy shoes, fancy cars, and you still live in the fucking projects. Cause you want niggas to sweet talk you. Truth is art. Truth is stern. Don't need no fucking apology. Stop being a bitch. And I don't mean female. I mean female dog who's in heat. That's what I mean. What else are they talking about on the Rex 84 plan? Just a reminder, they don't give a fuck about you fucking marching and praying and destroying Wendy's. Why? Because that shit got insurance, stupid. They don't care about you throwing no bricks on no cop cars. Why? That shit got insurance, stupid. And you're going to pay taxes on your paycheck. It's going to come out of your paycheck and you're going to fix it. What they don't want is you to militarize. What they don't want is for you to strategize. What they don't want is for you to use logic. That's where logistics comes into play. They want you to burn your energy. Stop listening to these dumbass nigger leaders. What else are they talking about? In order to achieve a totally predictable economy, the low-class elements of the society must be brought under total control, i.e. they must be housebroken, trained, and assigned a yoke and long-term social duties from a very early age. That's why every one of our people want to be either a rapper or a fucking Instagram model. Or in any type of entertainment. Not politics, and if you do want to get in politics, you go to their schools, learn from them. Right? And assigned a yoke and long-term social duties from a very early age before they have an opportunity to question the propriety of the matter. In order to achieve such conformity, lower-class family units must be disintegrated. See that? Disintegrated. Don't give a fuck about you marching and praying, stupid. By a process of increasing preoccupation of the parents and the establishment of government-operated daycare centers for the occupationally orphaned children. The quality of education given to the lower class must be of the poorest sort, so that the meat of ignorance isolating the inferior class from the superior class is and remains incomprehensible in the inferior class. With such an initial handicap, even bright lower class individuals have little, if any, hope of extracting themselves from their assigned lot in life. This form of slavery is essential to maintaining some measure of social order, peace, and tranquility for the ruling upper class. Matter of fact, don't believe anything that this just said. Do two things for me. Both involve Google, since you love Google so much. Google Brown University. Just Google it. Go to Maps, and then you'll see Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. You'll see right across the street is John D. Rockefeller Library. So I told you one, Google that, right? You'll see that. Then Google the philosophy of the General Education Board, and you'll see it was funded by John D. Rockefeller. And then read their philosophy. And you tell me if this is true or not. And remember, this is Ivy League, friggin' prestigious, whatever you want to call it, school. Oh, you can get the best, educate. Oh my gosh, it's so great. Meanwhile, they got a Crusader cross and shield on as their emblem. Stupid. Right? So this is the description of their silent weapon. Everything that is expected from an ordinary weapon is expected from a silent weapon by its creator, but only in its own manner of functioning. It shoots situations instead of bullets. Instead of shooting at you, they're gonna audit you. Instead of shooting at you, they're gonna come to your house without a warrant and lock you up. That's a weapon. They weaponize the police force. They weaponize the judicial system. They weaponize the executive branch. They weaponize the judicial branch. They weaponize the legislative branch. But since it's too technical, you niggers can't see it. You feel it, that's why you marching and praying, but then you're gonna go try to vote in their system to change it. Which means you niggas you have eyes to see, but you cannot fucking see. You have ears to hear, but you cannot fucking hear. Joe Biden told you ain't black. But you think he's only talking about, if you vote for Trump, then you ain't black. No, bitch, period. You ain't black, period. And he's laughing in your face. Propelled by data processing instead of chemical reaction, explosion. So you're going to file your taxes, or you're not going to file your taxes, and they're going to know data processing. Then based on that data, they're going to approach you accordingly. Data processing. So if they see you one of those Moors that got them things on you, and you advocate for Second Amendment, due to that data, they're going to process and deal with you differently. If you're one of those sophomores talking about, oh yeah, we're just for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and you ain't talking about no enforcing justice, they're going to know how to deal with you. Don't worry about them. They cowards. Don't worry about them. They scared. Read Willie Lynch letter. Read it. They only come for the big dogs. Originating from bits of data instead of grains of gunpowder. Now look up PRISM. Look up PRISM. And see how all the social media stuff, CIA, FBI got a backdoor to all that shit. They don't need no warrants. From a computer instead of a gun. Operated by a computer programmer instead of a marksman. Under the orders of a banking magnate. Then look up the definition of bench, as in a bench trial. It's derived from the word bank, as in when you go to a river bank, the dirt mound on the side is maintaining the water. The water is currency. That currency represents energy. So guess what that so-called judge is doing? Administrating your energy. He's acting as the dirt on the bank of the river. But you think this... Look, my phone's messing up now. It says reconnecting and it's spinning. Can you hear me? Test. All right, cool. Let me just screenshot it so I can post it later so you know I'm not tripping, right? Instead of a military general, hold on, where's the other page? Oh, I guess it fell out. Oh no, that's it. Under the orders of a banking magnate instead of a military general. It makes no obvious explosive noises, causes no obvious physical or mental injuries, and does not obviously interfere with anyone's social life. Because we think we've We've normalized going to jail. We've normalized our people dying. We normalized that shit. So it makes no obvious noises. It's just another nigga going to jail. It causes no obvious physical or mental injuries. It's just another nigga going to jail, another nigga murdered. And we rap about that shit like that shit's cool. Then we rap about how we got a so-called Jewish lawyer. Like that shit's fucking cool. Can't even handle your own affairs like a man, bitch. Yet it makes an unmistakable noise. Causes unmistakable physical and mental damage. And unmistakably interferes with daily social life. Unmistakable to a trained observer, one who knows what to look for. The public cannot comprehend this weapon, and therefore cannot believe that they are being attacked and subdued by a weapon. The public might instinctively feel that something is wrong, but because of the technical nature of the silent weapon, they cannot express their feelings in a rational way or handle the problem with intelligence. That's why your dumbasses are marching and praying and burning down Wendy's and burning down empty police cars. You know something's wrong, but you lack the intelligence. That's why Moore's been telling you, study. Why? Because our prophet told us to study. And we take orders. That's what we do. All true Moors will and must obey the laws as laid down to them by their prophet. That's called instant willingness and obedience to all orders. Prophet comes to you in a dream, tells you to do something, you do it. Prophet wrote the laws, telling you to do something, you do it. Prophet told you to be active, you be active. Prophet told you to go to the hedges and the highways, you go to the hedges and the fucking highways. Prophet said, if you got to be the only one to carry out my law, be that only one. Prophet told you to be upright, independent, and fearless. Be that. Therefore, they do not know how to cry for help and do not know how to associate with others to defend themselves against it. Meanwhile, people like me been telling you this is what we need to do. But you're so fucking emotional, you don't know what to do, even though someone's clearly giving you guidance. Someone who clearly has seen the effectiveness of a fucking military is telling you we need one, but you don't want to do that. Why? Oh, because that means I can't be on my phone. Oh, I got to give up Netflix and Hulu. Oh, I can't watch Empire no more. FOH. You know what? You know when I was stationed overseas, I didn't have a phone for 2 years. And if you know my family, you can contact my family and they'll tell you I was not in contact with them. I was not in contact with them often. Why? Because I'm on mission. Emotions are secondary. Mission first. Period. Why? Because you're fighting for your freedom. Even my bird knows. I didn't hear the bird making noises. Y'all don't want to sacrifice shit. That's what it is. You don't want to sacrifice nothing. That's what it is. You got access to your internet. You got the illusion of freedom. You can get in the car, even though you need permission to do it. You can hop in your car, turn on the radio, have the music drown your thoughts so you're not really thinking about reality. Then go on your phone all day, see what niggas is talking about, which ain't nothing. It ain't shit. They ain't talking about nothing. And just waste your life. Just waste it. And just talk about freedom. Not protecting yourselves and, teaching your community self-defense and all that. Weapon safety. You ain't gonna teach them none of that shit. You're just gonna talk about more science and that's it. You ain't gonna do nothing. The prophet told you to be active, but you ain't gonna do that. You're just gonna talk about it. That's it. That's it. You're just gonna blab your fucking mouth about some bullshit. Because you're trying to be woke. Because you want to be the next Noble Drew Ali. That's what you want to be. You don't want to be you. You don't want to be yourself. You want to be somebody else for fame and clout. That ain't even fucking real. It ain't real. It is not real. It ain't real. It's not real. It ain't real. I'm gonna tell you right now. I got 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's not real. The human beings are real. But the subscriber stuff, that ain't real. The likes, the comments. Yeah, it might be derived from an actual human spirit that actually genuinely means it. It might feel good, but feeling good ain't getting you nowhere. Most of the time, when you're uncomfortable, that's when you're going places. Matter of fact, don't believe me, ask the Chinese monks. Matter of fact, don't believe me, ask a butterfly who just went through metamorphosis. Matter of fact, ask a woman who's giving birth. Ask any person who's been in the military. You know what they teach us? Complacency kills. That's how you die. You're complacent. So you could spend a whole tour in enemy territory, right? Let's say 6 months. Let's say you're there for 6 months. The first 5 months you get no combat, no action. Right? So you about to rotate out the last month, right? The 6th month, right? You about to rotate out. So guess what you start being? Lackadaisical. Your head ain't on a swivel. You ain't doing your 5s and 25s. You ain't doing head counts. That's when they attack. Because you're lackadaisical now. They see you're tired. They see you, oh, you want to go home. Oh, you think you're going home now. That's when they attack you. So we're talking about, I'm up to Molly and Zanny and Lee. That's why I'm moving retarded. And we're really fucking retarded. And then we're making that shit cool. It's one thing if you just listen to it and then you don't manifest that energy and you ain't spreading that shit to the youth and you're not involving yourself in that. There's one thing. Cool. Vibe out to whatever you want. Be yourself. But don't be on the Molly, the Zanny, and Lean and start moving retarded and talk about you want to be treated like a man. Lackadaisical dummies. Lackadaisical, drugged up dummies. That's what we are. And we manifest that shit. No more fucking bullshit excuse, well, the white man brings it into our community. Who's selling it? Who's using it? Yo, feds can come in FBI uniform right now, drop kilos off at my door. I'm not picking that shit up and I'm not selling it. Fuck out of here. When a silent weapon is applied gradually to the public adjusts, adapts to its presence, and learns to tolerate its encroachment on their lives until the pressure, psychological via economic, becomes too great, they crack up. So check, peep, game. If you don't think this shit's real, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you right now. Coronavirus. It's called COVID-19. What year is it right now? 2020. Stupid. They're already playing you. They created legislation 2019 for COVID-19 that's enforced now. They told you in the beginning, oh, just self-quarantine. It wasn't mandatory. Remember, it wasn't mandatory. Self-quarantine for 14 days. Then what they say? Oh, they did look. They applied shit gradually. Oh, now if you want to go outside, you got to wear a mask. But don't worry, it's just self-quarantine. We're not enforcing it. It's self-quarantine.
It's way past 14 days, bro.
It's way past 14. That's my point. They fucking playing you, stupid. Gradually, so you don't notice. Why? Because you're too busy making fucking TikToks on Instagram. Then Then Gina Raimondo goes on TV and says, yo, I'm going to be riding around with state troopers. If we see you outside with more than 25 people, we're having a problem. Don't believe me. Look that shit up. So now it went from self-quarantine for 14 days, then it's just over. Then it went to, now you got to wear a mask. Then it went to, don't be in groups of 25 or more. Then it went to what? Stores closing. You don't see how they gradually applying that shit? Stupid. Because if they would have just off rip said, hey, we're closing everything down. Wear a fucking mask. Social distance. Day one, your dumbass would not have agreed to it.
It was like a whole fucking month before.
But then what they do? They had celebrities fucking growing their beards out, so you think this shit's real now? Cause they got a beard, this shit's real now? Stupid, you fucking idiot. Oh, P. Diddy got a beard, so this shit is real. Stupid!
Nothing's then he was on house arrest for that shit.
You don't see how they gradually applying that shit to you? And don't think, matter of fact, I'm gonna let y'all figure it out on your own. Therefore, the silent weapon is a type of biological warfare. Fucking stupid. It attacks the validity, options. So they take away your jobs. They force you to sell drugs to your own people. They're not giving you many fucking options. You either got to be a rapper, a football player, a basketball player, or a drug dealer. You either got to be a stripper, do hair. I don't know what they really targeting women with. A basketball housewife or some other entertainer housewife. That's the only fucking options you got. Mobility of the individuals. Oh, now you need licenses. Now you need permission to drive. You need permission to leave the country. Called passports. It's a license. Look it up. Stop being stupid. Look it up. Think you're going on vacation. You got to ask massa to go. It's called a passport. They give you permission. Dummy. Mobility of the individuals of a society by knowing, understanding, manipulating, and attacking their sources of natural and social energy and their physical, mental, and emotional strengths and weaknesses. You think this shit is a game? You think they give a fuck about your stupid ass nigger race war that you can't fucking fund, that you can't sustain? You think they give a fuck about any of that? You have to be smoking the crack that they're putting in your community because they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. And again, excuse my language, but fuck that. Because they have look how many pages this thing is. And you're worried about me not using F word and nah, fuck out of here. You let your children use iPads all day without your supervision, you don't know what the fuck they watching. So if you can't handle me saying fuck a few times, then you need to do something about your child. Because I'm a full-ass adult. You don't know what the fuck your child's watching on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or whatever, mimicking these dances and all that bullshit, sexualizing these young, little girls. You don't care nothing about that, but you got a problem with me being a Moor and saying fuck. Because you're an idiot. Because your priorities all fucked up. Because you've been brainwashed by these people. This is their strategy. This is what they do, and this is their intended effect. Keep the public ignorant, which means less public organization, which is what we got. Do. Access to control points, prices, and sales. Require reaction to outputs for feedback. Create preoccupations. Lowers defenses. It says defense. Why? You too busy making fucking TikTok videos. You can't defend yourself. Stupid. You're so busy trying to be fucking cool on the gram, cool on Facebook. You ain't fucking defending yourself. You're so busy trying to be so woke and know what Donald Trump is doing and knowing what all these politicians are talking about. You ain't even fucking defending yourself, you dumb idiot. Attack the family unit. Control of the education of the young. Give them less cash and more credit and do less. More self-indulgence and more data. Attack the privacy of the church. Destroying faith in this sort of government. Social conformity. Computer programming simplicity. That's why every time you think of something, Instagram got whatever was on your mind as an ad. My phone's about to die, just so you know. Minimize tax protest. Maximizing economic data. Minimum enforcement problems. Stabilizing the consent coefficients. Make shit simple. Tight control of variables. Simpler computer input data. Greater predictability. Meaning, speak to you like a 12-year-old, you act like one. Establish boundary conditions. Problem simplicity. Solution of differential and difference equations. So all these fake borders. Proper timing. Less data shift and blurring. Minimum resistance to control. Maximum control. Maximize control. Ultimate objective. Collapse of currency. Destroy the faith of the American people in each other. The primary strategy. Can you hand me that charger, please? Yeah, it's stuck on that. The box should be there too. It was plugged in when I used it. Look. Experience has proven. Experience! This ain't theory. Experience has proven that the simplest method of securing a silent weapon and gaining control of the public is to keep the public undisciplined and ignorant of basic system principles on the one hand, while keeping them confused, disorganized, and distracted with matters of no real importance on the other hand. So they got you making fucking TikTok videos. Hold on, I'm trying to plug this charger in. What you doing? What you doing? You making fucking stupid ass TikTok videos, right? You worried about, oh, I haven't been on a date in fucking X amount of time. Oh, I haven't fucking been to the movies in a month. Oh, I haven't some other dumb shit that don't matter. Oh, I haven't seen the sports game in whatever. They got you busy worried about dumb shit. This is achieved by what? Disengaging their minds, sabotaging their mental activities by providing a low-quality program of public education in mathematics, logic, system design, and economics, and by discouraging technical creativity. Oh, you're a nerd because you read. We're fucking dumb. We're calling our intelligent people dumb when we're the real dummies. Oh, nerd. Oh, why you talking white? Shut the fuck up. What the fuck does talking white mean? Stupid. Oh, because since I don't say strawberries, I say strawberries like you're fucking supposed to say it. I'm talking white now. I don't say scrimp. I say shrimp. So that means I'm talking white. Fuck out of here. Engage their emotions. Oh, look. Look. Engaging their emotions. Increasing their self-indulgence and their indulgence in emotional and physical activities by unrelenting emotional affrontations and attacks, mental and emotional rape, by way of constant barrage of sex, violence, and wars in the media, especially the TV and the newspapers. Now watch any rap video of our people. See if you're not being bombarded by sex and violence. Kill a nigga, fuck a bitch. Wasn't Cardi B talking about how she was drugging people and taking their money? Don't Cardi B and her husband got a whole video called Do Anything for Clout where she's literally selling her body for clout? In the video, she's literally sexualizing herself. So you watch the video over and over and over again and get them likes and give them your money because you worship them. Didn't Pop Smoke say fucking he just caught a body and the next day he'll forget it? Don't all these rappers talk about? Well, not all of them. Don't most of these rappers talk about killing people and taking drugs and being blasted out of your mind and being so high you don't know what the fuck's going on and taking Xanax and mixing it with the lean and the Molly and you don't even put the Jolly Ranchers in it no more and fucking you're basically a dope head, but they make it cool. Give them what they desire in excess. Junk food for thought. And depriving them of what they really need. That's why everything on fucking Instagram is a waste of your time. Caring about what the celebrity's doing. Caring about who they fucking now, who they're married to now, what the name of their child is, which is weird because they're MK Ultra and they're not fucking normal no more. You worrying about anything that these people are doing that's not helping your life is what they want. 3, rewriting history. Oh, imagine that. Haven't Moore's been telling you that they fucked with history and we ain't no goddamn slaves? And law. Oh, look, and guess who else teaches law? Moors, stupid. And subjecting the public to the deviant creation, thus being able to shift their thinking from personal needs to highly fabricated outside priorities. These preclude their interest in and discovery of the silent weapons for social automation technology. The general rule is that there is profit in confusion, and the more confusion, the more profit. Therefore, the best approach to create problems and then offer their solutions. Yep. So they'll murder you, and then they'll put an attorney that works for them to represent your stupid ass. Diversion, media, keep the public attention diverted away from real social issues and captivated by matters of no real importance. So they got you worried about stupid ass P. Diddy with his beard, because that means coronavirus is real, you fucking idiot. Meanwhile, at the same time, they're passing legislation that's going to negatively affect you, you fucking idiot. Schools. Keep the young public ignorant of real mathematics, real economics, real law, and real history. Entertainment. Keep the public entertained below a 6th grade level. 6th grade. You're a 6th grader. Work. Keep the public busy, busy, busy with no time to think on the farm with the other animals. Consent. The primary victory. You see that? Consent. The primary victory. Which there's something called tacit acquiescence, which is your consent due to your inactivity. That's why the prophet said, I need active Moors, not passive Moors. Look up the principle of latches. Look this shit up. Look up the maximum of equity. Look it up. A silent weapon system operates upon data obtained from a docile public by legal but not always lawful force. Much information is made available to silent weapon system programmers through the IRS. So all these idiots talking about, all you gotta do is go file the IRS paperwork. You're gonna get all this remedy and solution and go through their feudal system laws. Okay, you dumb ass. So you wanna be a dumbass. Now don't be confused. We said, hey, you can fill out the W4V, but that's only because we're forced to. We shouldn't have to do none of this shit. I've said that several times. But since Moors don't want to do nothing that involves actually taking a stand and fighting, we'll at least try to give you this information to at least alleviate some of the stress. Stop being a fucking dumbass, please. The information consists of the enforced delivery of well-organized data obtained in federal and state tax forms. Jesus Christ. Collected, assembled, and submitted by slave labor provided by taxpayers and employers. Furthermore, the number of such forms submitted to the IRS is a useful indicator of public consent, an important factor in strategic decision-making. Other data sources are given in the short list of inputs. Consent coefficients, numerical feedback indicating victory status, psychological basis. When the government is able to collect tax and seize private property without just compensation, it is an indication that the public is ripe for surrender and is consenting to enslavement and legal encroachment. A good and easily quantified indicator of harvest time is the number of public citizens who pay income tax despite an obvious lack of reciprocal or honest service. So if you think this is fucking fake, go to Google, since Google is your best friend. Google congress.gov, CONGRESS.gov, H.R25, Fair Tax Act of 2019, 2008, 2005, and 2009. And then you tell me if this shit's real or not. Yeah, 2019 and 2008, 2005, and 2009. They've been admitting this. But the public is so busy with fucking Cardi B and burning down Wendy's that they don't give a fuck about none of this. Look, even my bird is trying to devour this information. There you go. Let me see if I should read this one. Nah. Let me see. The artificial womb. I'm not gonna read that. The draft. Let me see.
You know they're gonna ask again when there's a meeting comes up.
They can read this over. Where's the let me see. Oh, let's read this right here. This is the draft. Few efforts of human behavior modification are more remarkable or more effective than that of the socio-military institution known as the draft. A primary purpose of a draft or other such institutions is to instill, by intimidation, in the young males of a society the uncritical conviction that the government is omnipotent, meaning everywhere. So you think these people, that's why all of our people think that they're on the investigation when they don't give a fuck about what you're doing. He is soon taught that a prayer is slow to reverse what a bullet can do in an instant. Thus, a man trained in a religious environment for 18 years of his life can, by this instrument of government, be broken down, be purged of his fantasies and delusions in a matter of mere months. Once the conviction is instilled, all else becomes easy to instill. Even more interesting is the process by which a young man's parents, who purportedly love him, can be induced to send him off to war to his death. Although the scope of this work will not allow the matter to be expanded in full detail, nevertheless, a coarse overview will be possible and can serve to reveal those factors which must be included in some numerical form in a computer analyst of social and war systems. We begin with the tentative definition of the draft. The draft, selective service, so it ain't random, stupid, is an institution of compulsory collective sacrifice and slavery devised by the middle-aged and the elderly for the purpose of pressing the young into doing the public dirty work. It further serves to make the youth as guilty as the elders, thus making criticism of the elders by the youth, less likely. So it's a general stabilizer. It is marketed and sold to the public under the label of patriotic national service. Once a candid economic definition of the draft is achieved, that definition is used to outline the boundaries of a structure called a human value system, which in turn is translated into the terms of game theory. So they're basically talking about rank structure and who deserves to die and who doesn't, based on intelligence. That's why you have officers and you have the enlisted. You got the butter bars and you got the generals. They might want to Google it. The value of such a slave labor is given to a table of human values, a table broken down into categories by intellect, experience, post-service job demand, etc. That's why you have 22 veterans committing suicide every day, because you're deemed worthless once you're not a part of it. And of course, a lot of infantrymen, their jobs don't translate into any civilian jobs, so they end up, homeless or murdering or killing themselves because there's no real institutions to normalize them and bring them back into society. And trust me, I have friends who got out the military and they're going through a lot of psychological problems just like I was. And, I'm helping, some of them to the best of my ability, because literally you're fucking nothing to them. So don't think that this shit's a game. Don't think that this shit is just conjecture. Don't think that this is some conspiracy shit. Ask any veteran how they got treated once they got out. They got treated as if they don't fucking exist. by everybody. Because first it's, oh, you know, you come home from leave. Oh, thank you for your service. Thank you so much. Da 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 da. Then when you get out, it's like motherfuckers forgot. They all forgot. They all just throw you to the curb. You ain't shit now. Trust me. Trust me. Then when you go to the VA seeking help, you see the demons. You see these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. Some of them, yeah, some of them actually care. But guess what? They can't do shit. Why? Because the policies that are established by the higher ups that are part of this program also don't give a fuck about you, so they got to make you jump through the hoops. They could put a gun in your hand at 17 years old, but you got to apply for benefits. Some of these categories are ordinary and can be tentatively evaluated in terms of value of certain jobs for which a known fee exists. So, you know, people like data, they get into programming once they get out. You know, shit like that. Some jobs are harder to value because they are unique to the demands of social subversion. For an extreme example, the value of a mother's instructions to her daughter, causing that daughter to put certain behavioral demands upon a future husband 10 or 15 years hence. Thus, by suppressing his resistance to a provision of a government, making it easier for a banking cartel to buy the state of New York in, say, 20 years. You see how fucking complex that shit is? They're talking about mind control over our women so that our women put retarded ass demands on the men. The men can't fucking meet these demands, lower their own value, so they're like, fuck it, my life ain't shit, let me go die for these people. Then, since our women's natural security is fucking gone, dead, or in jail, the women are the true inheritors of the land, now they get the land. But you can't see past what's right in fucking front of you. Why? Because you're fucking off the Molly, Xanny, and Lean, and you're moving retarded. You want to be a rapper so fucking bad. You want to be an NBA player so fucking bad. You want to be a sellout so fucking bad. You don't give a fuck. Such a problem leans heavily upon the observation and data of wartime espionage and many types of psychological testing. But crude mathematical models, algorithms, can be devised, if not to predict, at least to predetermine these events with maximum certainty. What does not exist by natural cooperation is thus enhanced by calculated compulsion. Human beings are machines, levers which may be grasped and turned, and there is little real difference between automating a society and automating a shoe factory. The derived values are variable. It is necessary to use current table of human values for computer analysts. These values are given in true measure rather than US dollar, since the latter is unstable, being presently inflated beyond let me see, this is page 54. It just ends. All right. And then if you don't think that the US dollar is uncontrollable and being inflated, look up congress.gov, House Resolution 5404. Look it up. All right. Let me see what else we got here. Look, today, over 1 million Americans believe that there is a law requiring them to waive their rights and file 1040 confessions, and that they will surely go to jail if they do not comply. Oh, man. Look, mind control in America. If a group... Oh, my bad. You're on video. I'm sorry. That was an accident. If a group of men gain control over the majority of news media, the educational systems, they would have great control over the words we use, would they not? And if you don't believe me, look up something called, what's that program called? with all the news people. What's that shit called?
Like a TV program?
There was a programming place that compiled videos of different news outlets giving the same media story over and over and over again. It's posted on Rise of the Moors YouTube,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure some of you have seen it. When you control people's words, you control their thoughts. Oh yeah, remember in the Bible it says first was the word. Remember that? When you control their thoughts, you control their minds.
But
When you control their minds, you control their bodies, huh?
Operation Mockingbird, the patent on mind control to TV. It's a U.S. patent.
Oh yeah, you can Google a bunch of that. I think we have some of those over there. Some of those patents on mind control. But yeah, if such a group gain control over our minds, should we expect them to take full-page ads across the country and inform 200 million heavily armed citizens of their accomplishment? Would they more likely keep us singing "Land of the Free and Home of the Brave" while they simply purchase the legislation they need to gain absolute total control over us? Whoever controls the volume of money in any country is absolute master of all commerce and industry. The only way productive people can control the volume of money and be self-governing is when something workers produce is used as a medium of exchange. The actual process of money creation takes place in commercial banks. Modern Money Mechanics, published Federal Reserve Bank, Chicago. You thought government printed it? For the secret owners of the Federal Reserve to control the volume of money and become our absolute masters, and we their absolute slaves, they had to first get the gold away from our parents and grandparents in 1933, which was accomplished with threats of fines and imprisonment from the man who said, "The thing we have to fear most is fear itself." So they hit you with the okey doke. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Next, they had to get our silver away from us, which was accomplished under a great smokescreen called Vietnam. It is just coincidental as to how the chronology of Vietnam War seems to dovetail with the chronology of our silver being confiscated. There's no way that they could control the volume of money if the money was silver coins in the hands of 200 million Americans. I'm just going to stop right there. You get it. 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 Oh, look, let me read this. I know just I'm not going to read no more, but let me read this. The newspapers will tell that Russia borrows from the Western banks, and the Bible says the borrower is servant to the lender. Proverbs 2:7. You think the Bible is wrong? The public thinks that the taxes are used to provide a defense against Russia. And it's the other way around. Our masters dangle the Russian boogeyman in front of us to justify the tax illusion, Truth is always stranger than fiction. Then Russian people are taught to fear us. The high office of president has been used to foment a plot against the American public. Before I leave office, I must inform the citizens of this plight. President John F. Kennedy. And guess what happened to him? He was murdered. And guess what Donald Trump's talking about? Revealing the deep state. But you don't care because you worried about what Cardi B's doing and you worry about your nigger activities. Peace, Moors. You ain't gotta bear arms, but good luck. Good luck.